Yo, I, I mean, wow. What just happened? What just happened? I have never seen a game like this, ever. I legitimately never seen a game that is just completely haywire. It's just crazy to see this game that ended up like this, man. Where do I even start? Do I start off with how the Nationals offense has just been playing better over the last 3 games? Or do I start with how the Phillies managed to embarrass themselves in the most painful way possible? This game may have to be one of the craziest games of the year thus far, in my opinion. I mean, let me take you deep into this one. The Nationals. The Washington Nationals find a way to put you through the limit, but at the end, they surprise you with surprises. And that's what they did today. Alright, let's get into this. I do want to start off by saying this. Congratulations to the Washington Nationals for finding a way to win this ball game against a tough Philadelphia Phillies squad. Pull off a massive upset in a 9-inning game that is nothing but a game of emotions. An 8-7 victory in your home ballpark with low expectations, but at the end, you fought, you kept riding it on, and you pull off this extraordinary comeback with ease. I mean, the Nats and the Phillies, let me give you some stats, y'all. I'm going to break this down. 9 days ago, when the Nationals were in Philadelphia, facing the same pitcher we face today in Michael Lorenzen, which the Tigers traded him to the Phillies. 9 days ago, when they were in Philadelphia, he threw a no-hitter in a 7-0 victory for the Philadelphia Phillies. That left a bad taste in Nats fans' mouths. And they couldn't even get it out of their heads, too. Like, that was the first time in franchise history that this team put up legitimately zero hits in the lineup. Which was never a thing in this Nats franchise history. Unfortunately, that happened in Philadelphia. But then, 9 days later, we come out here in this situation where you face the exact same pitcher that threw a no-hitter on your heads 9 days ago. Michael Lorenzen starts today. And he throws, no longer a no-hitter, which I knew was going to happen because the Nats offense was not going to play around today. Going into this game, I had low expectations moving forward. I was like, I don't think we're going to beat this team at all. The Phillies fans are going to throw their party tonight. They're going to have fun at Nationals Park. They're going to take over the stadium as usual nowadays. And more importantly, they're going to handle their business at Nationals Park. Wrong! They didn't see this coming because this is a National squad that's had a nice homestand thus far, especially when they play against the Boston Red Sox. And what Phillies fans don't get is that this offense has been resilient. They're not always a pretty offense. They're not always a great offense. They're not always perfect. But at the end of the day, the Nationals offense is not the worst offense. They're always productive and resilient. Even at times when they're struggling, they always find a way to bounce back. And that's what they did today. Against the same pitcher that hurt them. That left a bad taste in their mouths. And more importantly, made history in a good way for the Phillies, but in a bad way for the Washington Nationals. And looking at this game right here, this looked like a football score. Not gonna lie. It does look like a football score, but it felt like a football game. It felt like Commanders Eagles. It felt like a playoff game, even though we're not making the playoffs, but it did feel like a playoff game. Because this was a divisional rival game, and the Nationals knew that they were not going to embarrass themselves tonight. They came in with a mentality that, you know what, we don't want to mess up tonight. We don't want to waste all this talent moving forward. We're going to put up a fight to the very bitter end, and at the end of the day, we're going to leave it all out there on the field. And that's what they did today. Now, take a look at some of the stats. Start off with the Philadelphia Phillies. You had a great offensive night, not gonna lie. A great offensive night for the Philadelphia Phillies. They had 2 daggers for pretty much the entire night. But it was just one guy that pretty much was having a bad year all around. And this individual, Kyle Schwarber, he hit 2 daggers out of the stadium. It was literally crushed. He crushed 2 baseballs that were nowhere out of reach for the Nats outfielders. And then you got Bryce Harper. Oh, Bryce Harper. Boy, do I miss him. Well, I don't care about that because he had himself a great night as well. He had himself a double. RBI double. And then you look at other guys that could have done better. JT Realmuto, Trey Turner, and then this guy who had an 0 for 5 night, which I can't get over it. Nick Castellanos. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Where do I even start? Trey Turner. The last time I saw him play like trash was against my Orioles in Philadelphia, where he had 2 errors and he got ejected for arguing balls and strikes. I remember that time. And then you got JT Realmuto. 4 at-bats, just 1 hit. What are you going to do about it? He's also the star catcher too. What do you expect? He may get gassed at the end of the day. And then Mr. Bad Luck guy. He's had an up and down year, but what do you expect from him? Nick Castellanos. I look at him. To me, he's just a guy. He's just a guy that did not deliver at all tonight. And what's hilarious was, in a 1-run game, the very last out of the game, he struck out to let the Phillies lose in the most painful way possible in a game which you should have had. You should have had. And when you take a look at it, they were up 6. Yeah, legitimately, they were up 6-1. They piled on with 6 runs in the 4th inning. But guess who else piled on with 6 runs in the 4th inning? The Washington Nationals. And they deserve all the credit and respect that they legitimately deserve out there. Because they fought hard, they worked their tails off till the very last out. In the words of Davey Martinez, their manager, they stay in the fight. We're going to stay in the fight. They came out here to play. They don't quit. And they'll keep fighting to the last out. And let's keep it going tomorrow and go 1-0. That's what they did today. I'm legitimately, I was shocked. I was legitimately surprised and shocked at the results of this ball game right here. But personally, I didn't watch the entire game because I had to go out somewhere before first pitch. I was not in my, living room the entire day because I had to go somewhere. I was not there for the majority of the game because I had to go somewhere out of my house. Try to handle other things. But I came back. I returned home. The 9th inning comes, and they need to make 3 outs. Kyle Finnegan comes in to close the game. Starts off shaky because he gave out the dagger to Kyle Schwarber. But the last 3 outs, Alec Bohm got a ground out. Bryce Harper got a ground out. And then Nick Castellanos, which I still find hilarious to think about right here. He struck him out to win the ball game on a nasty breaking ball. The Nats win it 8-7. In terms of the hitting, both teams had a great night offensively. The Nationals with 13 hits, the Philadelphia Phillies with 10 hits. In terms of how many mistakes were made, the Phillies had 1. What do you expect? I mean, they're not a consistent baseball team. The Nats finished the day with no mistakes, giving Kyle Finnegan his 20th save of the year. The win will go to one of their relievers, Jose Ferrer. The loss will go to Michael Lorenzen, Mr. No-hitter guy from 9 days ago. 9 days later, unfortunately, pitched 3 innings, gives up 8 hits, 6 earned runs, a strikeout, and a walk. That's the day for Phillies fans. And they were throwing themselves a party when they were walking into Nationals Park. I can even sense that when I was not watching the game. Because I was out of my house trying to handle other things. I legitimately feel the Phillies fans walking into Nats Park, storming the stands, taking over, trying to represent Philly for themselves. But what they just witnessed was a team that was willing to fight. At the end of the day, they can walk out in shame. As for the Nats fans that have been so loyal and prideful the entire year, even though they're feeling the team not having a winning season, they will still support and root for them the rest of the way, no matter what happens. So, crazy game. Craziest games of the year for me as a DMV era sports fan. I mean, there's just nothing else to say besides hats off to the Nats. I mean, this makes me want to wear this shirt again right here like yesterday. Which is absolutely amazing because, oh yeah, it feels good. Oh yeah. Now, before I end this clip right here, I just want to say one last thing. Shout out to my guy, like yesterday. Shout out to my guy, Laggy Glitchy 4. He is a Nats fan that went out to the game tonight. I appreciate you, bro, for sticking around Nationals Park like you always do. I mean, he loves going out to baseball games at Nationals Park. He loves the energy and excitement there. And he has always had a great time, no matter what happens right here. But I will say this, though. He went to the game wearing a Phillies hat and a Phillies jersey. Sorry that you had some instant regrets on wearing that gear. But I'm not sorry that you had to totally wear that, thinking the Phillies were going to dominate. So, I mean, he can go on with the Phillies fans and the walk of shame, but I still feel you. But he'll give credit to these guys for putting up a fight. Because, legitimately, it was a game of emotions for Nats fans and Phillies fans. 8-7. Win in the most dramatic fashion. Nothing but a game of emotions in D.C. But, moving forward, I still have low expectations for the team, but in the end, they just got to keep putting up good and competitive ball games. They got to keep putting up a fight to the very last out. Because they're a resilient baseball team. And once they get better for years to come, they can start being more like a contender right here. But yes, moving forward, now time to see what the Orioles are doing in Oakland because they're dominating right now. With that being said, that's all I got to say. Let's get it.